This video is a part 2 of my previous video on players that I can't give on, part 1. So check that one out for some other players that I can't give up on. Also like this video, comment and subscribe for more quality content because it will make me happy. Into the video. Coming into the NBA, Jabari Parker was supposed to be a star. He was compared to players such as Carmelo Anthony and Paul Pierce. He was supposed to be the next great scorer. Sadly, in his rookie season, he tore his ACL and only played 25 games, averaging 12.3 points per game, 5.5 rebounds on 49% from the field. In the time he played, he was a solid player. In his second season, he improved marginally and was pretty healthy. He averaged 14 points per game, 5.2 rebounds on 49% from the field. His second season was considered okay since he was coming off of an ACL injury, but people wanted to see him break out in his third season, and break out he did, with him in his third year looking like a second star beside Giannis. He averaged 20 points per game, 6.2 rebounds, 2.8 assists on 49% from the field and 36% from 3. He probably would have made the All-Star team if he didn't tear his ACL again, ending his whole season. Many wondered if he could return back to his best form. In his fourth season, his numbers drastically decreased to 12.6 points per game, 4.9 rebounds on 48% from the field and 38% from 3. He looked way less athletic and struggled for playtime, with him being a terrible defender. In the 2018 offseason, he signed with the Chicago Bulls, and he put up good stats with 14.3 points per game, 6.2 rebounds on 47% from the field and 32% from 3, but the Bulls stopped playing with him due to the atrocious defense, and then they traded him to Washington to finish his season there. This season, he put up his usual 15 points per game, 6 rebounds on 50% from the field, and he looked to be doing good in Atlanta, but then was suddenly traded to the Sacramento Kings. I believe he can help Sacramento in the playoffs if they make it this year and become a solid 6-man scorer for the rest of his career. And if he gets average defense, it will lead to him getting more minutes and maybe being a starter. I can see him averaging 14 points per game, 6 rebounds on 50% from the field and 35% from 3 with average defense. Don't give up on Jabari Parker. In the 2017 draft, there was a lot of great point guards with Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, De'Aaron Fox, and Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith was seen as the most underrated of the bunch, with his athleticism being historic and his great scoring ability. He was drafted with the 9th pick by the Dallas Mavericks, and in his rookie season, he averaged a solid 15.2 points per game and 5.2 assists, but on a terrible 39% from the field and 31% from 3. He showed many signs of being a star, but he just needed to improve on his efficiency, and many thought Dennis was the next star point guard for the Mavs. In the 2018 draft, the Dallas Mavericks drafted future superstar Luka Doncic. A lot of people were excited for the new duo, but into that season, it was clear a duo of Luka and DSJ would not work, with them both needing the ball. And since Luka was clearly better than DSJ, they had to trade Dennis to the New York Knicks for Kristaps Porzingis. In this season, he averaged 13.6 points per game, 4.8 assists, and 2.9 rebounds on 42% from the field and 32% from 3. People saw this season as a disappointing year, but thought he looked promising into the future, with the Knicks not having any locked-in starting. This season, which is DSJ's third season, has been his worst one. He has not played much, and all of his minutes have decreased. He has career lows on everything, averaging only 5.5 points per game, 2.9 assists, 2.3 rebounds on 34% from the field and 29% from 3, in only 16 minutes per game. He has only played 34 games and has forced to sit out many games. In his 3 starts this year, he has played terrible, but in my opinion, if you're barely playing and then you randomly start, you're not going to play your best. I believe Dennis Smith's natural talent will allow him to be a solid starting point guard in the league, and I believe if he leaves the New York Knicks, who are a very dysfunctional franchise, he will be better. He has shown many signs of greatness, he just hasn't had a team to fully believe in him. I believe at his best, he can average 17 points per game, 6 assists, 4 rebounds on 45% from the field, and 34% from 3. Dennis has so much talent, he just needs to work harder. Don't give up on Dennis Smith Jr. In the 2019 NBA Draft, Jarrett Culver was seen as a great all-around player, and many believed he could be the best player out of the draft. He was compared to Jimmy Butler as a guy who's not a great scorer, but makes up for it with his good rebounding, good passing, and good defense. His rookie season has been very disappointing, with him not being good at anything. Coming into NBA, he was seen as a good passer, good rebounder, good defense, and a good shooter, but all of that has been atrocious, with him only averaging 9.2 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 1.7 assists on 40% from the field and 29% from 3, and a terrible 46% from the free throw line. None of his numbers have shown promise, but when Culver plays more than 30 minutes per game, he averages 14 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2.4 assists on 42% from the field and 25% from 3. Although these numbers aren't the best, it shows some promise that he can be a decent NBA player. All of Culver's hype has disappeared and no one speaks about him, even though he was a top 5 pick in the draft. But I believe you shouldn't give up on a player after their first season, and you should give them more time to develop. I still believe in Jarrett, and I think he can average 18 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists on 45% from the field and 35% from 3, with above average defense. Don't give up on Jarrett Culver. Coming into the NBA, Lauri Markkanen was seen as a make-or-miss European player, with his ceiling being Kristaps Porzingis and his floor being Andrea Bargnani. Many people were not high on him because in the previous draft, Dragan Bender was drafted and he is a major European bust. In Lauri's rookie season, he impressed everyone with his great signs of shooting and being able to put the ball on the floor as a 7-footer. He averaged 15.2 points per game, 7.5 rebounds on 43% from the field and 36% from 3. These were some solid numbers as a rookie, and many hyped him up for his next season. In Lauri's second season, he missed the first half of the year with an elbow injury. When he returned, he played well, averaging 18.7 points per game, 9 rebounds on 43% from the field and 36% from 3. His second season was viewed positively, with him making improvements in scoring and rebounding. He was expected to make the leap to 20 plus points per game in his third year, but he disappointed, with him having career lows in points per game, rebounds, and field goal percentage and 3-point percentage. A lot of this is due to the minutes decreasing and head coach Jim Boylan not using him correctly. This season, he's averaged 14.7 points per game, 6.3 rebounds on 42% from the field and 34% from 3. I believe if Lauri has a proper coach who doesn't force him to stand in the corner for most of the game and only be a floor spacer when he is so much more, he can be way better and become a superstar. In his prime, I can see him averaging 23 points per game, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists on 47% from the field and 38% from 3. He just needs to be more aggressive. Don't give up on Lauri Markkanen. Coming into the NBA, Josh Jackson was super hyped up, with some saying he should be picked with the 3rd pick over Jason Tatum. He was seen as a lockdown defender who needed to work on his jump shot and offensive game. Many thought he would be a player like Jimmy Butler or at best Kawhi Leonard. In his first season, he struggled being widely inefficient, but after the All-Star break, he averaged 18.7 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, and 2.5 assists on 43% from the field and 25% from 3. This stretch of games revitalized everyone's hype for him, and many people were excited for his second season. But he disappointed, only averaging 11.5 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, 2.3 assists on 41% from the field and 32% from 3. He had many off-the-court issues, so the Phoenix Suns traded him to the Memphis Grizzlies in the offseason. In his third season, he played most of the year in the G League, and Memphis has said they have seen growth in Josh Jackson off the court. In the 18 games he played, he was solid, averaging 10.4 points per game, 43% from the field, and 31% from 3, in less than 20 minutes per game. I hope on Memphis he can find a home and be a solid bench defender who can be a slasher. I can see him averaging 13 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists on 45% from the field and 33% from 3, while being a good perimeter defender. Don't give up on Josh Jackson. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more quality NBA content. And name some players who you can give up on. And I'm out.